Welcome back to The Charismatic Voice. I've only recently been digging into David Bowie and I have become obsessed. So much so that I even got a stack of books over there that has a quote from him because I just like the things that he expresses. And it wasn't until recently that I found out that he did a duet with one of the greatest bands and singers of all time. I thought Under Pressure was just by Queen. And I was surprised when I saw that it was David Bowie too. So I want to listen to this again with new ears and do a deep dive analysis for the first time. Let's get to it. I love this beginning. There's so many reasons why. I'm going to talk about just a couple and then we're going to go back and listen through it again. I know I stopped it really quickly, but it has so many acoustic, almost kind of raw sound sources in it. Like the things like snapping and clapping. Everything is a little bit sparse, built up some anticipation really well. It makes you listen a little deeper into the sound. And it also makes me think of Ice Ice Baby, which I think was written after this. Anyhow, I a couple times in my head sang Ice Ice Baby there. Okay. Wow. I like that. The kit is so tight. It's nice. And so light. Whoa. The visuals are awesome in this music video. The idea of things essentially collapsing under pressure. I'm not really sure where the black and white horror film video, I don't know why those visuals are in there, but hopefully I'll get a good answer soon. Now that I'm listening in detail, it's so obvious when we have David Bowie's voice come in there. He has a distinctively separate tone from, I'm going to call him Fred, y'all, because for legal reasons, we're going to say Fred, okay? And I'm going to come back to the beginning, or no, we'll go back to about where the vocals started. Let's just dig in to these vocals like crazy. I love the explosion of that in the music video to go with this. It felt like a kind of sound coming from the drum kit there. Really worked very well. It's the same tempo, essentially, of explosion. In passing, again, I'd heard this in passing plenty of times, jammed out to it. I had not realized how much scatting there is in this. It's almost more scatting than lyrics in here. And with the scatting, it's interesting. It doesn't feel necessarily jazzy, which is really where scatting came from, right? Jazz music, blues, a little bit too. But it's brought here into this pop kind of atmosphere. We still have the syllables, which are super fun to choose when you're scatting. It makes you appreciate enunciation in a whole new way. But they feel a little bit more straight in the presentation. It gives it a more pop edge to it. But at the same time, a lot of times scatting is a central focus, especially if you think about Ella Fitzgerald. Here, these feel like it's almost inner musings of a singer, just going on in the background, like, ba ba de. Yeah, oh, that's what I was thinking. I'm really curious actually to listen to this scatting a lot more. So let's keep going. Mbada, mbade.
Pressure pushing down on me, pressing down on you. No man has fallen under pressure. Brings the feeling down, strips the family in two.
So I love the way that both voices come in with pressure right at the beginning, and they're both set in a fairly high area of their modal range, meaning that they're not really flipping over into falsetto. They're not going into a much lighter vocal register to create the sound. Instead, it has a kind of plea. There's a primal urge when somebody gets into that higher pitch range of a particular register. There's this feeling that in order to create those pitches, their whole body needs to engage underneath. And it sounds a little bit like a cry, which adds an urgency to their entire tone quality at that point. I love that we have both of them and they're not trying to blend either. You have urgency being cried out by two people at the same time.
Pressure pushing down on me, pressing down on you. No man has fallen under pressure.
I like that little harmony there, and then switch to solo.
Puts people on streets. Eat it up, eat it up. That's okay. That's the terror of knowing what
And there's David Bowie.
watching some good friends scream, let me out. Tomorrow gets me higher. As you want people on
Whoa.
streets.
Whoa! They like reversed and put the building back together. I know that's just rewinding a film, but for some reason it feels totally mind-blowing in this instance. Maybe it's indicative of sometimes how pressure can actually turn us into diamonds instead of just crumbling us apart. There is such a beautiful line in there I'd never appreciated before. Well, that's the terror of knowing what this world is about. Watching some good friends screaming, "Let me out." Wow. I mean, I wonder who wrote that line. Was that Fred or was that David Bowie? I don't know. That feels a little bit more like a David Bowie line to me, but when it's so collaborative, I don't know if you can even attribute it to one person or the other. But wow, what a beautiful impact of that line. And I like the way that in this, it's set a little bit more pensive as well, right? It's hanging out lower in the pitches. It doesn't feel like it's two people that are just struggling under urgent pressure. It's more like one person who's viewing another under pressure, and they're able to think about what that really means.
That's okay. That's the terror of knowing
Right there.
what this world is about. Watching some good friends scream, let me out. Tomorrow gets me higher. As you want people on streets.
You know, that also makes sense that you had said it in David Bowie's voice too. Again, just getting into David Bowie, but in general, his presentation and messages to me, I think, have often had more internal contemplation. And it seems very focused on, both of them have focus on society of the time and the different pressures that come from it. But I think that David Bowie has this way of sort of challenging people to think about their thoughts, think about their inner turmoil and what that means, what their role is in the world today. And Fred just, when he would go out on stage, it was this incredible blast of energy that it felt so much more extroverted, essentially, in nature and performance. I love the idea of the two of them together. I think it combines two of the best of both worlds. Back one more time, I'll keep going quite a bit.
As you want people on streets.
has so much playfulness in the scatting.
Chipping around, keep my brains round the floor.
That's falsetto.
Days it never rains, but it falls.
Wow. What an extraordinary combination of two wildly different vocals here. The with the scatting, you have so much play, and it's not only play in how the different words, I guess we'll say the syllables are set. It's also play in if they're going to be really forward in the face or if they're going to a little bit more dome. One of the things that I love about Fred's voice is the way that it can go from crazy, crazy forward, extreme bite, extreme brilliance in the tone, or you can go way crazy domey, right? Which would be like more like Caballé influence right off of there. That falsetto is just hovered on top. I think that was Bowie. I might be wrong though. I could totally be wrong. That was just so strange to hear that long line on top in contrast with the scatting.
These are the days it never rains, but it falls.
Wow. From back there.
Chipping around, keep my brains round the floor. These are the days it never rains, but
That feels really jazzy actually. So it works with the scatting, but then the scatting feels straighter. Wow. Hey, it's cool. Throughout this entire section, it feels like there are just tons of little gold nuggets. It's almost like I'm in a jewelry store and there's something that catches my eye / ear over there. Like, oh, like that is a really shiny green emerald. And then you're like, whoa, was that a snake bracelet over there? Right? You're like, whoa, so many different shiny things in this section. There is a beautiful counter melody in there. And it's not like I'm getting two different kinds that are alternating. It's more like one's here, one's there, one's there. I feel like each singer is improvising in so many different ways, and we're getting little bits of brilliance that just couldn't help but burst out of some sort of containment. That, man, this is so very cool to go back and listen to in depth. Y'all, if you haven't ever taken a moment and listened to this song with a great pair of headphones and seen if you could identify every single layer, just highly encourage that. No matter how many times you've heard this, it feels like there is so much to be discovered. Wow. Oh, a little bit further because that's the melody I liked.
my brains round the floor.
So there is a counter melody on oohs below. Very soft. And the way the people on the streets comes in there, it almost feels like it's going to be scatted syllables at first because of the rhythmic nature of it. And that line, there's that line that just is on the bottom there, the ooh, it switched to O's, maybe a little bit of in there, going from ooh to O to each time you open your mouth more, that sound is going to be a little bit more available essentially to ears. Oohs tend to sound more personal, more held back. Uhs and eventually, right? That's the most open vowel that you can have where it feels like it's really being given up. And I love the way that it's continued to grow from inner to outer essentially, and also in dynamic. it feels like there is some sort of deep question that is rising to the surface. Oh, nice echo on that.
People on streets turned away from it all like a blind man. Sat on a fence, but it don't work. Keep coming up with love, but it's so slashed and torn.
Wow. We're going to go back and listen to this huge build one more time, all the way through, probably a few times. I am appreciating at this moment how wildly different and daring it is. Again, with all of these different ideas being sprinkled in. That's so cool. It has such a raw feel to it, but also refined, I think, because both sets of musicians are so refined. Oh, man. Okay, back one more time here.
Streets turned away from it all like a blind man. Sat on a fence, but it don't work.
This is one of the first times that I feel like the two of them have really synced up in something. Yes, the first line, pressure. But right here, it seemed like there was a mutual agreement on style and tone to have, and they're doing it in parallel octaves.
Turned away from it all like a blind man. Sat on a fence, but it don't work. Keep coming up with love, but it's so slashed and torn.
Just have to say, the way he slides up and seems to have no cap to the top of his voice is one of the things that I find so extraordinary and thrilling about Fred's voice. I love, love, love that. I love his performances. I love the way he's put together his entire vocal technique and taken inspiration from so many different kinds of music. Really fantastic. And then I didn't really think it could get better than just having those kinds of glorious slides and topless extensions. But then, oh, by the way, what a freeze frame. Man, Elizabeth nailed that. But I love having David Bowie come in with that urgency. It's like saying this contemplation that you've had, it demands attention now. It's such a good combo. Oh, and it works for a horror film. Maybe that's why. Right. Oh, wow. The way that the lyrics transitioned into just give love, give love, give love. At first it was, why can't we give love one more chance, I think. And then it transitioned to give love, give love, give love. I love the way that turned it around and said, just be a good human. Continue to give love, give love, give love. This is one of the reasons that I also like a lot of their writing. I feel that there's a lot of great messaging in it. It's beautiful. Music can be so inspiring. It just helps us to be better people.
We
Give ourselves one more chance. Aww. And there's so much desperation in his voice. So with Fred's presentation, his singing, it has this connection that I completely relate to opera singing. I know he studied opera, was a big fan of it. He even did some really cool things with cabaret at one point. But it's this primal connection to a really low source of support, essentially breath support. The meaning that when he's singing, it feels like he's singing from his pelvic bone, essentially. And that's because the very lowest muscles that are in our breath support system are the pelvic floor muscles. You can call them the P muscles, you can call them Kegels, whatever you want. Those muscles down there can actually help resist the pressure of air that comes out and can go straight through your vocal folds, can cause them to splat. Air pressure, under pressure. Your vocal folds are under pressure all the time when you're singing. And so he sounds like he has this incredibly low source of support, which is absolutely essential for singing opera. It is essential for belting huge, long notes. And when you have that kind of cry in them, it's this weird thing that you would develop, I think, if you spend a lot of time singing or you spend a lot of time listening to singers. We can just hear when that attaches to a really low source of support. I love that. I love that sound. It's one of the reasons I love opera. Right there. That feels so connected. Those eyes are so good. Wow. It almost feels like this whole, I'm going to call it the bridge here. It feels like it has these waves upon waves upon waves. You know, when you're at the beach, you're in the ocean, right? You know how waves kind of cascade over each other. They'll come in series often. That's the emotional experience I have there. And there's a wave of desperation and then this wave of encouragement and inspiration then that hits at the end. The way that David Bowie's line came in there and created a warmth, sort of a grounding message for the entire song. It feels like there's so much angst happening with the pressure. And then this like, come on, give love, this pleading desire to give love, give love, give love. And then this inspiration of, hey, we can actually make the world a better place by caring for each other a lot more. Wow, it's so beautiful. This song has so many layers of journey in it. Wow. An incredible resolution. Pressure. Ooh. Oh, they did the rewind thing there again to put that first explosion back together. That's cool. Just wanted to point out the voices here, they sound really close to the mic. I like that effect for the end of the song. Everything about it has such a raw feeling. Wow.
Under pressure. Under pressure.
Right there. That felt really close. Like they stepped in extra.
Pressure.
It doesn't resolve. What? Just snaps in an unresolved chord? What? I never realized that. Wow. I am blown away. I knew I was going to love this, but diving in deeper to this song is so rewarding. Holy crap. If y'all haven't done that before on your own, I encourage you just go listen to that track all the way through with some great headphones or some great speakers nearby and soak up all of the different layers of genius that are in it. Wow. And if you want to hear some more songs that I think are just pure genius, check out this playlist over here. May you fall more in love with music every day.